Hey guys, welcome back as we're working through Fanatical prospecting together. Hope you're enjoying the book. Have it here with me as usual. So we're going to talk about, pick up where we left off in Chapter 5. So Chapter 5, Jeb's going through the 3 core laws of prospecting. And of course we discussed the universal law of need last time we went through it. And then of course the 30-day rule is what we're going to talk about today. And then the law of replacement we'll continue on next time. But getting into the 30-day rule, the 30-day rule, it's a pretty simple concept to understand. I'm sure any of us in this business have probably already realized this for ourselves, that this is a reality in our business. But it's the idea of whatever we do today, whatever activities we do today, will affect our business 30 days from now. And that's what he talks about in the book regarding sales in real estate. Obviously, it could affect us 60, 90 days or more from now, the activities that we're doing today. And in the book, he gives an example of a guy that he talks to who's struggling. And I love in the book that it actually has him talking about the month of December. He's talking about working through the holidays. And then they identify that his March is struggling with not a whole lot going on. And they backtrack to realize that in December, he was not prospecting at the level that he was in prior months. This is so relevant to us in our business because what most agents do around November, December is they stop working. They start slipping out early, coming in late, taking an extra day off for the holidays. And that's great, but like I said before, if you're going to take time off, fine, schedule it and be off when you said you're going to be off. But if you said you're going to work on your schedule, work and put the time in. But what he talks about in the book is that, he really had an option. Do I want to do things that are more fun, or do I want to do things that aren't as much fun, like prospecting? And he talks about how even when he was working, he was calling stale and dead-end leads. And really what I think he was doing was, trying to be busy, feel like we're being productive. And that's something I think we all struggle with a lot is the idea that busyness is the enemy of productivity. A lot of agents like to do some paperwork sometimes or call and check on the escrow that they've already checked on 3 times a day because you feel like you're being productive, but that's just being busy. So, don't call those dead-end prospects. We need to get on the phones and pound the doors and do whatever we have to do to keep building that pipeline during these holidays. Then he goes on in the book and he talks about, what missing a day, what missing a week and a month look like. He said, you miss a day, it'll show up and bite you sometime in the next 90 days. You miss a week and it's going to affect your commissions. And if you miss a month, well, that's where you could, tank your pipeline and then find yourself in a real big sales slump and struggling. And this is something I can actually speak to personally. I know there's some major life events that folks go through. I mean, we deal with all types of things, great things and terrible things, from deaths to new babies and all types of good things too, but that can interrupt our schedules. I recently tore my ACL. I was playing basketball, and apparently I'm not 20 years old anymore, but went up for a layup and just tore it in half. And I had to deal with that, and I did the best I could through these last, it's been 7 months or so, I think. But but between doctor appointments and physical therapy multiple times a week, the surgery itself, things like that. I mean, it just put you off your routine. So again, working from home, getting in here when I can, but not being able to have as many appointments during the slots I normally would have them. And even with as hard as I work through that, it absolutely affects my pipeline, and I saw the effects of it months down the road. So, a couple takeaways in this is number one, seasons like this we got to grind through, and they're going to come in to play. You can't control them sometimes, and again, sometimes they're good things, but you got to grind through those and do everything you can to keep filling that pipeline and prospecting, so you don't feel it 3 or 4 months later as much. And then the other thought is I thought about the ant philosophy. A guy that I kind of consider him a mentor to me, even though I've never met him, but Jim Rohn, awesome guy if you haven't followed him or read any of his stuff. But he talks about the ant philosophy, which is just the philosophy that ants work really hard in the summer to store up for the winter. And that's the same thing in our business. When you are healthy and don't have those life events going on, that's when we got to grind and just be fanatical and just prospect and fill that pipeline. So then when the unknown does come into play, we have a great stream of business that we can pull from and weather those storms. So just want to challenge, everybody who's following this is, what's your March going to look like? Think, 3-4 months down the road, and what's your business going to look like when you wake up 3 months from now? And that is going to look like a direct result of probably what you're doing right now and what you've done through this holiday season. So anyways, I hope this challenges you a little bit to think about, how you're acting today and what that could mean for you down the road. Share your thoughts. Interested to hear, your honest assessment of where you're at right now. And let's keep the conversation going, guys. Thanks, guys, and we will talk to you soon.